Hello everybody. Today we're going to be installing a WeMo Light Switch by Belkin. What this switch allows you to do is to turn on a light using your smartphone or your tablet. Some requirements of this switch are you need to have a neutral wire in the junction box where your light switch is, and you can only use this to control a light that is switched with one switch. If you have two switches that turn on any particular light, you cannot use this. It only works if it's a location where only one switch controls your light. The first step anytime you're working with electricity would be to go down to your panel board, locate the breaker that turns off the circuit that you're going to be working on, and flip the breaker. In this case, that is the breaker that is connected to the circuit that we're going to be working on. Okay, now that I have the circuit breaker turned off, I'm going to verify the circuit breaker is off by flipping the light switches in the room that I'm working on, and I can see that the light is not turning on, so that's verifying that I have the circuit breaker turned off. The next thing that we'll do is we'll take a flat blade screwdriver and we'll remove these 4 screws holding on the faceplate. The next thing that you'll need to do is remove the 2 Phillips head screwdrivers on the switch that you're looking to replace. We are not changing this switch. We're going to leave this one as is. It is this one that we're going to be changing with the new WeMo, the WeMo internet controlled light switch. Okay, now that I had after removing these 2 screws to pull the switch out, I went ahead and I pulled the switch out and I pulled the neutral wires out so that I would be able to get the Belkin's neutral wire connected onto those. So the next step will be to cut the wires coming off the back of the switch, strip the insulation back, and then connect the wires on the Belkin switch, which is right here, onto those wires. The 2 black wires, one of the black wires will connect to one of my black wires. The other black wire coming off the Belkin will connect to the red wire. The white wire will go under the wire nut of these other white wires here, which is the neutral. And then the green wire coming from the Belkin will connect here where this copper wire was attached to the switch. Okay, as you can see, I cut the switch off. I now have my red wire cut and stripped back about 1/2 inch. The black wire is cut and stripped back 1/2 inch. My ground wire is here, and the neutral wire, I took the wire nut off. So now I'll be connecting the switch. Okay, now you can see that we have all the wires hooked up. I have the ground, the bare copper wire connected to the green. I have one of the black wires coming out of the box connected to the black wire on the WeMo switch. I have the other black wire of the WeMo switch connected to the red wire that was coming out, that was connected to our other switch. And in the neutral, the white wires that were wire nutted, I connected the white wire from the WeMo switch. After doing this, what I like to do is I like to give them all a little tug, make sure they're connected properly and they're not loose. And once I do that, the next thing that I'll do is I'll just kind of fold the wires, kind of push them down in there gently, and screw the WeMo switch, the Phillips head screws, in where the other switch was attached. Okay, now we have the switch screwed back into place. The next step is going to be to go downstairs and turn the power back on. And once I realize that that is successful, I'm going to put a new faceplate back on. A new faceplate that'll fit both this and that. Okay, now that I have the circuit breaker turned on downstairs at the panel board, I'm going to come here and hit the power switch, and it should turn on the light, and there it is. So it's completed. The next step will be to configure the app to connect it, to be able to connect it with your phone and control it with your phone. So what we have here on the face of the button, to turn the switch on and off, you just push anywhere on the button to turn it on, anywhere on the button to turn it off. But when it's off, you'll see a little white dot here, and that's just basically a night light to help you locate the switch in the dark. So once you turn it on, you'll notice the little black circle will have a power button on, showing you that the power is on. So when you hit off, it goes back to the other one. The first thing that you need to do is download the WeMo app by Belkin. Just go to the App Store and search for WeMo. Okay, now that you have the WeMo app downloaded and installed, there's a few steps that we need to perform. Now, if you're using a phone that has cellular data or a tablet that has cellular data, the first thing you need to do is turn off that cellular data. So to do that, it varies depending on what version you have, but I'm using Marshmallow, Android Marshmallow, and the way I get there is like this, and I'll go here and turn off cellular data. Then I'm going to go into the settings menu and go to the Wi-Fi settings. Now that I'm in the Wi-Fi settings, I need to select the WeMo.Light network instead of my home network. So I'll tap on that, and now it has connected to the WeMo network. So we really now at this point don't have any internet access whatsoever because our cellular data is turned off and the Wi-Fi is turned off. So we're connected to the WeMo Light network. Then we come over here and we go to the WeMo app. We'll launch the WeMo app for the first time, and it's connecting to the WeMo Light network. And after this, it's going to prompt us to fill some things out. So what we have here, we have to name the switch if you desire, which I do. And I'm gonna name it Daniel's bedroom. That's where it's located. And now that we have that done, okay, it doesn't like the apostrophe, so I'll just take that out of there. Okay, so we have that. We have the device icon, which it's basically showing the icon of what that switch looks like. You can enter your email in optionally if you want to. And I'm leaving the remember Wi-Fi settings selected. And now we're going to proceed. Now it's connecting to the light switch again. Now it's searching for other Wi-Fi networks, which I need to select the Wi-Fi network in my home, which that is not the network that I want to use. So let it continue scanning, and it should come up with the network that I want to. There it is. This is the one that I use at my home. So now I need to enter the password. Okay, now that I have the password entered, I'll click the save button. And it's now connecting me back to my Wi-Fi network in my house. And basically what it's doing is it's telling the switch which network to connect to. We're not having, our phone is still connected to the switch. What it's doing is it's telling the switch what our home network is. That way our switch can communicate with the home network. Might take a few attempts to do so. There. Now it has connected to the network. It's probably trying to obtain an IP address at this point. So bear with it. It seems like it takes a little bit of time. Okay, so now the switch has been connected to the home network, and it says that remote access has been enabled. So I just tapped on the screen, and it should bring me to the screen. There we go. It's searching. It found the switch that we had just set up, The phone actually did automatically reconnect back to my home network. As you can see from the icons at the top, I didn't have to go back in and reconnect it to my Wi-Fi in my home. And it should work. We should be able to hit the button here, and sure enough, turn the light on. So from here, you can go in and set up different rules if you're interested. At this point, I'm not going to be changing any of these rules, but these are some of the rules that you can change. You know, you can turn on at sunrise, turn off at sunset, or vice versa. You can have a timer. Apparently, you can set it up for motion if you have one of Belkin's motion detection devices. Somehow you can set it up for in away mode. I don't know how really any of this stuff works. I have not experimented with it at all. Um, so, but that's it. That should do it for your setup. Thanks for watching.